Hi. Oh. um, just noticed something. I was in a rush today. I might have in my hurry. In my hurry, done some things the opposite way. But welcome to the stream. It's that fantasy chick back again today. Um, Thanks for coming. Uh, so okay, I'm just gonna start off by saying I tried to watch The Last of Us again, and I just don't. I don't. It's not my type of show. The things walking around with the fungus heads and the noises they were making. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. Can't deal with that. That was a little too much. That was too much. So so I'm gonna chill on The Last of Us right right about now. I gave it another chance. I sat down and I watched most of episode 2, and it just I could just tell, it's the infected. I mean, name of the episode was the infected, but I can't take the infected. I can't take that. I can't take them being attacked by these fungal people, and and when they looked down and they saw that just huge fungus, bunch of people with fungus. Oh my goodness! It was too much. It was too much. Yes, episode 2 was slow. Yes, it was very slow. It got intense at the end. But I still can't take those people. I can't take those fungus people. I don't know what they call it. I guess they just call them the infected. I can't take the fungus people. They are too much. Yeah, horror dystopian. Yeah, pretty much. So I'm gonna chill on The Last of Us. I gave it a chance, and I'm just like, it's not for me. It's not for me. Okay. So next, we're going to talk about Willow, and how last week we were talking about, I think it was last week, we were talking about the chances for a season 2. Where is it? So Ron Howard, I'm guessing, is in charge of Willow on Disney Plus. He's the EP. So Willow EP Ron Howard talks season 2 renewal chances, the future of Solo, and the time he met Joseph Campbell. Now I'm not going to read this whole article because it's a big long question and answer thing. I'm just gonna talk about the part where he talks about Willow. So the director of the 1988 film would like to see the story continue. There's always been a hope and a plan for more seasons. Ron Howard isn't all that surprised that a Willow sequel now exists in the form of a Disney Plus series. After all, Willow mastermind George Lucas always believed that a TV series would be the optimal way to expand the world of Willow, and the idea has been kicked around ever since Lucas and Howard collaborated on the latter's 1988 film. In retrospect, Howard credits Lucas and Willow for teaching him how to helm effects heavy films on a larger canvas. He also learned a great deal about narrative, especially when Joseph Campbell came to visit Lucas during the development of Willow. Wow. Campbell's book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, served as the foundation for all of Lucas's mythological narratives. We wound up, yeah, Joseph Campbell is a name. Like when we talk about screenwriting and screenwriting books, people like to quote Joseph Campbell a lot. So he got to meet him face to face. We wound up around George Lucas's dinner table telling Joseph Campbell the entire story of Willow. So he told us the origins of the myths that we were borrowing from. With the first season of Willow now in the books, Howard is still awaiting word on a second season, as the season one's finale mid-credit framing device alluded to Willow having a 3-season plan. See? The books. Well, there's always been a hope and a plan for more seasons. There's certainly more to tell, but there's nothing concrete that I can comment on right now, Howard says. From a creative standpoint, everybody is energized. Everybody loved working on Willow. It felt like it found its voice and its footing, so we're just standing by. Okay. In a recent conversation with THR, Howard also gives credit to the series creator Jonathan Kasdan for his contemporary take on Willow before addressing the future of his solo Star Wars story characters. We won't go into that. Let's see. They've always wanted a sequel, but they take creation. Okay. So that's what we're having. We're waiting on. So there is a 3-season plan, and they're waiting to hear back. So it hasn't been exactly stated that it's not happening. They are planning on having having 3 seasons. So they're waiting to hear back to see if it's been renewed. Yeah, I didn't know either until this article. I didn't know he directed Willow. I didn't know he directed the original movie Willow. So you learn something every day. Still awaiting word does not mean it's canceled. It does not mean it's canceled. Still awaiting word means it hasn't been renewed yet. It hasn't been renewed yet. If it was canceled, they would have canceled it. Like they are not shy about canceling stuff. What's Disney Plus history of canceling shows? I don't know. Most of the shows have been Marvel shows, and they're not going to cancel those shows. So I don't know. I don't know if they've canceled a show before now. So I hope this isn't the first. Netflix is a 2 and done, a 2 and through. They usually let something get 2 episodes, 2 seasons, 1 or 2 seasons in, and then they'll cancel it. They'll let something get to 2 seasons and then be like, okay, you're done, and they'll cancel it. So yeah, Netflix, they spread themselves too thin and then cancel stuff because they can't afford to let it keep going. But whatever. We're not here to talk about Netflix. Okay. So I'm just saying it's too soon to say that they've been canceled. Even Ron Howard, if Ron Howard, they have not told Ron Howard yet that he's been canceled. We don't know yet. So we don't know yet. There's still hope that Willow is going to be renewed. And like I said, there is a 3-season plan. There is a 3-season plan. So next, after that, let's go to okay, let's go to House of the Dragon. Emilia Clarke won't watch House of the Dragon. Now, I do not know. Okay, so this is what. Where are you? Here we go. Okay, so Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke explains why she won't watch House of the Dragon. HBO's Mother of Dragons has a good reason for not tuning in to watch her Targaryen ancestors do their thing. HBO's Game of Thrones set many of its stars on the path to fame, including Emilia Clarke. Over 8 seasons, she played Daenerys Targaryen, becoming one of the show's most memorable and controversial characters. Now that HBO has a prequel series focusing on Dany's family, you think Clarke would be eagerly tuning in, right? Well, not exactly. Speaking to Variety, she admitted while she's thrilled for the House of Dragons' runaway success, raking in viewers, and with its recent Golden Globe win for Best TV Drama, following in Thrones Awards collecting footsteps, she has yet to watch her characters' frequently vicious, extremely blind predecessors in action. Can you forgive me, Clarke said. It's too weird. I'm so happy it's happening. I'm over the moon about all the awards. I just can't do it. It's so weird. It's so strange. It's kind of like someone saying, you want to go to the school reunion that's not your year. Want to go to that school reunion. That's how it feels. I'm avoiding it. Clarke is currently promoting her sci-fi movie, The Pod Generation, at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival. She'll remain firmly in the nerd realm for her next TV project, too, Marvel's Secret Invasion series, coming later this year to Disney+. So that will be interesting. Secret Invasion. A lot of actors say they don't watch their own movies. I know a lot of actors who said that they don't watch their own movies. Um, so Secret, I know a lot of people are looking forward to Secret Invasion. Um, so so we'll see how that one goes. See how hype that is. And finally, we're going to go to Dungeons and Dragons. So, the Dungeons and Dragons movie comes out in March, and some fans are upset with Dungeons and Dragons, the actual game, I'm guessing. Let's see. Why are Dungeons and Dragons fans so upset? D&D publisher Wizards of the Coast has taken a lot of heat about its new open game license. Here's what you need to know about OGL 1.2. Okay, so I've heard about this open game license. I've also heard that some fans are so upset about this new open game license that they're trying to encourage people to boycott the movie that's coming out in March. I'm not boycotting the movie. Of course, I have yet to play Dungeons and Dragons myself. I do want to eventually want to learn how to play it. Someday I'll play it, but I want to watch the movie. So I'm not going to boycott it, but I do feel their pain. Wizards of the Coast, the Hasbro subsidiary that publishes Dungeons and Dragons, has been under fan scrutiny since a draft of its new open game license leaked earlier this month. And over the past 2 weeks, all hellfire broke loose in the fandom. The company had to backtrack and apologize and then announce entirely new plans. A disagreement over the licensing terms to a tabletop role-playing game might seem like inside baseball or a minor trash can fire. But the OGL battle says a lot about the power of players to own their games, and how corporate America regards and treats its customers and fans. So what are all these gamers worried about, and why does the OGL matter? Read on. Oh, it's a slideshow. I don't like slideshows. There's 16 slides. I'm not reading this whole slide, this whole slideshow. The Open Gaming License is a default use license established in 2000. It allowed fans to use portions of Dungeons and Dragons intellectual property in their own work without oversight from Wizards of the Coast, the Hasbro subsidiary that owns Dungeons and Dragons. The basis for the OGL was rooted in software licensing, directly inspired by the GNU Linux license. Under the OGL, which anyone could use without any special permissions or contracts needed, fans were allowed to create their own games, adventures, characters, items, and creatures that were explicitly compatible with Dungeons and Dragons and sell that work for money. Attached to the OGL was a system reference document which outlined the exact parts of the Dungeons and Dragons IP that people could use, including stats and mechanics for races, classes, spells, creatures, and combat, more or less everything you might need to run a game. The SRD currently attached to the OGL 1.0, the most recent authorized version of the license, is nearly 400 pages long. Over 23 years, the OGL and the attached SRD led to a huge amount of D&D fans investing their time and money in third-party publishing, or 3PP. Over the past 23 years, multiple publishing companies that specialize in producing D&D compatible third-party content were established. Some of these companies include Cobalt Press and Green Ronin. Other companies produced independent games that use the OGL as a base, like Paizo's Pathfinder and Evil Hat's Fate. Okay. The OGL was embraced by fans and creators because it allowed them to benefit from D&D's intellectual property and because of the protection the license gave them. The OGL 1.0A grants perpetual worldwide royalty-free usage of the SRD, which means that you don't have to pay WOTC to use the license, and you don't have to pay Wizards any royalties on revenue brought in on products that use the SRD. It protected fans from getting sued by the company, but it also allowed the company to enjoy the popularity brought on by thousands of creators using the SRD as a base and writing games specifically by their product. Over the past decade, the network effect helped the 5th edition of the game gain popularity and helped Dungeons and Dragons attain unprecedented mass appeal. Okay, if this next slide doesn't tell what the new slide does. Okay, here we go. After enjoying the resurgence of the D&D fandom and benefiting financially and culturally from the attention for almost a decade, a few years ago, Wizards started working on a new updated OGL. We now know this as the OGL 1.1. Fans first became aware of the existence of the OGL 1.1 in late 2022. when rumors began circulating about WOTC calling third-party publishers into meetings and asking them to sign non-disclosure agreements. While this is standard business practice, many people were under the impression that this was in advance of a large push by Wizards to attempt to revoke the OGL. The Open D&D hashtag was used to rally fans to express their interest in keeping the OGL and by extension allowing 3PP to continue their work. This caused Wizards of the Coast to respond publicly. Okay. They're still not going into what this new OGL is. Okay, the OGL 1.1 is the update to 2000's OGL 1.0. It expanded the relatively simple and straightforward document into a massive legal license. The OGL 1.1 was supposed to go live on January 4th, but was delayed for undisclosed reasons. The next day, Gizmodo reported that the new OGL 1.1 went back on a lot of the protections, grants, and considerations that were given in the OGL 1.0 and would require revenue reporting and payment of royalties to WOTC. Fans, content creators, and third-party publishers flipped out. This new OGL was not open at all. The tabletop community's biggest complaints about the OGL 1.1 were that the Wizards of the Coast wanted to deauthorize the original OGL. The royalty percentage was excessive. There was sub-licensing language that would give Wizards of the Coast nearly complete control of the content produced under the OGL, and the commercial license was restricted to only PDFs and printed material. Okay, so he said, all of your knowledge, D&D knowledge, comes from Stranger Things. So, yeah. So basically, this new license is pretty much reversing a lot of what the but okay, so I watched another video about this license, and it was only supposed to there was only supposed to be, I guess, revenue reporting once you went over a certain amount, like once you received a certain amount of money, like let's say $175,000. Like once you made over $175,000, then you had to report. I think everything under that was fine. Okay, I may not be saying this correctly, but it wasn't a complete like everything, like everything you sold has to now, all your royalties have to now be split with the Wizards. It was royalties over a certain amount of money will have to be shared with the Wizards, but people still was upset over that. So now they are going back, I guess, to the drawing board with this open game license, and I guess they're going to be working it out again. We'll see if they work it out between the Wizards and the people. See if 3PP will continue, and see if they will stop calling for people to boycott the movie, because I really want to see this movie. It looks like it's going to be fun. Hugh Grant is in this movie. I'm like, how many fantasy movies is Hugh Grant in? I can't think of any. I can't think of a single fantasy movie that Hugh Grant is in. I like Hugh Grant. I want to see him in this movie. So, yes. And also, it has the Duke from what's that show on Netflix that everybody went crazy over? Oh, I can't remember. Oh, the show set in the Regency period. I can't remember the name of the show, but it has that black dude from that show set in the Regency period from Netflix. That was like that had Oprah, not Oprah. That had goodness, what is her? I can't remember nobody's. I can't remember the name of the show. I can't remember the name. Shonda Rhimes. It had Shonda Rhimes' name on it, but I can't remember that. I gotta learn how to play the game first before I become a D&D person. I gotta I gotta actually be a D&D people to join with the D&D people. But I really do want to see this movie. I'm excited to see this movie. So I'm hoping that they figure this all out and that they come together with a new license that everyone's happy with by March and leave the movie alone. No, 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 no. This is from Bridgerton. The dude from Bridgerton. I still haven't seen Wednesday. I gotta watch Wednesday. But the dude from the first season of Bridgerton that everybody is going crazy over, he's in Dungeons and Dragons. I gotta watch for him alone. I gotta watch for him alone. He is enough. And he showed they have little what do you call it? Funko Pops. I may have to get me a little Funko Pop. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I get a Funko Pop. Yes. Yes, the internet was on fire. And I tried to get that book in the library. Those books, there was a waiting list for those. Everybody was trying to read those books because, I used the library and everybody was reading those books. So I guess I'm just going to have to get on the waiting list if I try to do a novel versus adaptation of Bridgerton. I will have to get on a waiting list for that one. Okay. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't have I don't have any shows as of now. For still waiting for the Flash to start. Um I've been watching the Winchesters that comes back tomorrow. And Bridgerton. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Bridgerton. That's hilarious. If the next time they drop a season, when they drop a season 3, I would definitely be watching Bridgerton. But season two kind of upset me. I think I only got 4 episodes in, and then I was like, okay, this is too much. It was a little too much for me. I had to stop. So I have to pick back up. That's a habit of mine, leaving shows. Like I get upset with shows and I leave them behind. It's a hard habit to break. It is a hard habit to break. I guess I take shows too personally. I take them too personally. So I haven't seen Wednesday. Yes, I have to see Wednesday. Yeah. Um, I do. I'm gonna watch Wednesday. I gotta watch Wednesday. Everybody was going crazy over that. Now that has been renewed for a second season. So Wednesday has been renewed for a second season. So we know that's coming back. But so yeah, what was I saying? Okay, so new shows. Um gotta watch, gotta find some new new shows. I'm running out of shows. Gotta find some new shows to watch. But I'm going to try to be back again on Wednesday and see again how that goes. See, we're going to try that out for a couple of weeks and see how that flows, how that goes, how that flows. So I'm gonna be back again on Wednesday, and I have another novel versus adaptation this Friday. This will be the Deathly Hallows Part One, because there's, even though it's one book, it's two movies. So we split it up into two videos, one for each movie. Because trying to do it all in one video would have been too long. It would have been too long. It's too long. I sat there and I watched those two movies back to back. That was an all afternoon thing. So and by the time I finished watching those movies, I was Harry Pottered out. I was Harry Pottered out. So so we split up the Deathly Hallows into two videos. So Deathly Hallows Part One this Friday. So all right. See you Wednesday.